Right, so I've been having issues where when I've been putting the heating on in Bob, which isn't particularly good anyway, but it fogs up incredibly quickly. And even if you're driving without the heater on, steam starts coming out the vents. And what I've noticed is I'm losing coolant and it's dripping out of the heater matrix. It's actually dripping now because I just took him round this little area here just to bring him on the drive. And yeah, it's leaking, so I can see it dripping out. So I've ordered a new heater matrix, but it's going to take about a week to get here. We've got New Year in the way as well, so it's not going to help with lead times. So what I thought is I'll strip the heater box out, so we'll take it out, and I will join together the two pipes that go into the matrix just to bypass the matrix for now, which means I can get it out, get it prepped, take the old matrix out, ready for the new one to come in. So once it's here, it should be quite a quick job. Just whack the matrix back in and bolt everything back in together. So I'm hoping I can just use this little pipe joiner. If it will show you there, it's trying to trap my face. So that is a 16mm or 5/8, I think. Should just go into the pipe, join it together. The only thing is the bends on those rubber pipes. It actually would be better off if this was a U shape, but I don't have any other pipe that I could create that with, because I've got two of these, but I don't have any pipe to do that. So and I don't think any motor factors are open because it's the Christmas betwixtmas. Now you probably noticed that the bonnet is in service mode, so I've removed the wheel. Do be careful if you've got the wheel attachment on the bonnet, because it's got the big spike on. So as you put it back, just be careful you're not going to smack your windscreen. I've just attached a couple of bungees up here and then just run them round and then fixed them behind the windscreen. So just open the doors a little bit and clip them in. It just means if there's a gust of wind, that's not going to come down and smack me on the head. It's not too bad when the wheel's not on it. It's always a bit sketchy when you're underneath it and the wheel's on the bonnet and you think, God, if this came down, I'm... So yeah, just a word of warning. Now with the bonnet up, you can get a much better view here. So all we're going to do is undo these two hose clamps and then try and join these together. And you can see what I mean. If I had a U-shape connector rather than the straight, it'd be a much better thing. I could, like I say, if I had some pipe, put two straights and a U at the top. Right, I've just loosened off the two clamps. These little Vera screwdrivers are brilliant, by the way. You can just undo them like that, so you can hold the top and just twist it, like it. Anyway, so got myself a little container down here to catch any spillage, because we will get some. Right, that back one was a bit of a bugger to get off, but got my step out, got some leverage on it and got it off. What I've just quickly done is quickly bunged both pipes together with that little connector I showed you earlier, which worked out really well. You can see here there's no severe kinking in the pipe. I'll bring you in for a close-up in a minute. I'm just going to tighten up the clamps just so that we don't get any more leakage, because obviously what we don't want is too much coolant dripping down. So you can see that joiner just in there, tightened it up over the two, and actually it's worked fine. Didn't need to worry about having a U-bend. Obviously it would have mimicked this perfectly, but the straight just went in perfect, and the hoses, because they're new, they're nice and flexible. So that's fine. The only thing is that's just going to rest up on the bulkhead there, whereas normally it would kind of sit up a little bit raised, so that's not a problem. I said to you about a new tool to use, and check this out. This is a Kilder electric ratchet. It's a 18-volt system, and I am really excited to use one of these. I wanted one of these for ages, and we're really fortunate that Kilder have partnered up with us. So if you are interested in any impact wrenches or anything like that, there is a link down below where you can get 10% off if you use the code RustyNuts10. So yeah, I'm going to give this a whirl to undo some of the bolts here on that heater box, and let's see how this performs. I'm looking forward to it. I've also got an impact wrench to show you in one of the later videos, but it's pretty heavy duty, so you know, for stripping your wheel lugs off, anything sort of chassis related, things like that, it's going to be amazing. But for little jobs like this, these are going to be awesome. Right, so Kilder did supply me with a nice socket set of impact sockets, but they're all metric. So obviously Bob, when we rebuilt him, we put Imperial on everything. So for this, we've just got a standard chrome socket from Halfords, actually, which again, a great socket set if you're looking for just, you know, for your classic cars, a little one. They do a nice 3/8 set. I've actually built a toolkit for classic cars, which I'll take you through in another video. But yeah, let's see how this does. I'm really interested in these bolts here at the top, whether they've got anything, if they've got a nut on the back, because I can't for the life of me remember if these are threaded in the bulkhead. I really hope they are, because I don't want to take the dash out. So let's see if we can get on one of these and give this a whirl. We might need to get a looks like we're in luck, and that is in fact a threaded hole. I am so pleased about that. So we'll keep all these safe, put them back in once this is removed, like Mick has taught us. We've also got some of the wiring for the blower motor is on a little P-clip that's attached to that as well, so we've just got to be careful there, and our washer line. So see if this one will come off nicely for us. Yeah, no trouble. We could do with a what they called like a wobble end on that. Right, let's take that P-clip off. Right, we've got that. That is, I am so pleased with that. I thought I was going to have to take the dash out, if I'm honest, and Mick had said no. And I don't know why, I just kind of thought maybe we drilled them out or something, because we did a lot of stupid stuff as well. So yeah, that's brilliant. Right, now this one might be tricky, because I've started this and then I've kind of forgot I haven't got any helpers around, so I might have to wait before I take those bottom bolts out. But we can take the hose off. Yeah, this little Vera is really quite cool as well. And actually what's nice, if I'm thinking about it, I'm building a whole duck egg blue kit here to match Bob's engine. Hang on a minute, look at that. The Kilda is the perfect match. What I will say is Kilda haven't officially sponsored us, but what they could do is give me a discount to buy some of their tools. And they also supplied me with a free beanie hat and a work light. So thank you very much to Kilda for that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more with their tools, because it seems like a really good bit of kit, that. Another fantastic tool is the Nipex pliers wrench. If you've not used one before, it's an adjustable wrench essentially, but it is flat, so you don't get any knurling of your nuts, because again, nobody likes damaged nuts. And what it does mean is you can counter hold things quite easily, and you don't have to go rooting around for something else. You can just attach them. And as Liam and I often try to do, is counter hold them with our fingers, and it doesn't really work out very well. So I'm wondering if I can get these in here, kind of wedge them in, because I'm on my own. That might work. Let's see. Woo! Okay, it's one of the challenges of working on your own, isn't it? But spin this round, see if it'll work, and bring you down here. So I just wedged my Nipex in here, and the handle's kind of wedged nicely up against the bulkhead and the blower motor down there. And if you can see here, the it doesn't want to focus for me. Come on, there you go. The nut has kindly not vanished down into the abyss, so we can save that. And I'll whip that out of there now, and then we'll try and replicate that on the other side. There is less opportunities here for wedgeage. I also need to check down here, because it stinks of fuel, which isn't great. I can't see any leaks though. All right, one job at a time, Dave. Jesus. Let's get this. Let's get these out, and then hopefully we can just lift the matrix out. See if I can repeat my successes on this side then, with the old Nipex, because that worked remarkably well. Okay, I mean, it's winding out. Yes, and it's held on to me nut as well. Me nut, mate. That one did drop though. Oh well, find it. You know when you get a tool and you kind of think, how have I done without this for so long? I feel like this is going to be one of them. I'm a big fan of using hand tools, because with the gun, the amount of force you press on the trigger is relative to the speed of how it winds off, but it always feels like they're a little bit violent, the old impact wrenches, for small stuff like this. Whereas actually, it's just a great electronic aid for a bit of manual spannering. I've got carpal tunnel in both my wrists. I think a lot of it is from the bob restoration triggered from my diabetes. And so something like that is going to be really helpful actually in just assisting me, because my strength goes quite quickly. Right, there we go. What I'm rabbiting on. There is one matrix out. Oh, just drain that off into this pan down here. Okay, so that was, I think you can probably tell from that, the colour of that water, that the heater matrix has seen better days. And looking at it, yeah, it looks grim. You can see it's been leaking. Yeah, definitely not looking its best, is it? You can see sort of the dampness down there where it's been leaking. So I think, yeah, good time for a replacement. So we'll get this on the bench and get that matrix stripped out of there. So what we should be dealing with is this series of screws that run along here. We'll undo that. The side should then pull off. This matrix should slide out, and then once the new one's here, slide it in, rebutton it up, and we'll get it back in the car. Right, matrix is out, so all that's done. Plumbing is now all linked together, so we haven't got to worry about not being able to run him. He's all good. The other thing I was just going to look at while I was here is this has got a horrible vibration in it. Now, it looks like the motor's spinning fine. It sounded really unhealthy, but it seems like it's okay, but I think it's reverbing off something. So let me just show you what it sounds like. So I think a lot of that noise I'm hearing from the blower motor is actually reverb on the footwell, the top of the footwell. I think it must be vibrating on there. So what I might do is get some, we've got some at Mix actually, some of that sort of kill mat, dodo mat, whatever it's called, and put it on the top of there, on this bit here, because I think that might help. I can do it inside then, so you won't see it, say inside the bonnet. Although that is where the matrix sits, so maybe we could put a mat underneath the matrix and it'll help absorb. We'll see how that works once the new matrix is here and we put the box back in. But yeah, other than that, I don't really want to stick matting up inside the cab. Although, to be fair, you wouldn't see it up there, and that would be the perfect placement. So it's only when you get down low and look. So I think that's probably what I'll do, is whack a bit of matting on there and see if that takes away that vibration, because it's really annoying inside. I don't think we're going to get it perfect. I think there's always going to be a rumble, and I think that fan's just noisy. If you let me know down in the comments if you've got a Series 3 and you've got the, well, I think they've all got the snail shell. I think it was an optional extra I read for really early cars. But yeah, if you've got that and it is a lot quieter than mine, just let me know, because then I know that I need to probably do something else. Maybe need to look at the motor itself. Now is the ideal time because the heater box is out of the way and I can get to it better. So maybe I'll have a look at it in another video, I think. I actually don't use the heater that much, partly because of the steam issue, but we'll see. Right, we're just firing them up just to check that we've got no leaks off these pipes. We'll let that warm up. Right, so we're running up to temperature, everything's looking good. Top hose got nice and warm, so there's no cold spots there. The hoses around the back are nice and watertight, so there's no leaks coming from those where we put that connector in. So I'm happy with that. I think the bypass has worked. So up in part 2, we will get the new matrix fitted. So you'll see me strip down the old one, put the new matrix in, and then bang it back into Bob, and we should be good. We can take him for a run and make sure he's working. So we'll catch you in that one.